Why is it that videos like you just seen before are allowed on Twitter, are allowed on X, or allowed on YouTube? European, Western, American social media, they infiltrate like this. But why is it after such a long period of time where people forgive, don't forget, and move on with their lives, just keep on doing, China is good, Japan is bad? Now, it is in war. All the things that this lady is going to mention in a moment or so, horrible. And this did happen. There's no denying the fact. And we should all learn history, granted, and we should learn from history. But we should never hate. Wasn't it someone in the Bible who said, love thy neighbor? Well, we should love thy neighbor. But China doesn't have religion, is mainly an atheist state. And definitely, the government pushes the narrative of China good, Japan still a bad person. Note the emphasis on the word still.
You may have heard that China and Japan have some serious beef, but do you know why? For Europeans, the World War II started in September 1939 when Germany invaded Poland. For Americans, World War II started in December 1941 when Japan staged a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. But for the Chinese people and many other Asian people, World War II started long before those two dates. It started on September 18, 1931, when the Japanese army invaded the city Shenyang. The war of resistance against Japanese aggression lasted for 14 years for Chinese people from 1931 to 1945. The Japanese army committed many atrocities, including abducting women from China, Korea, Japan, Vietnam, and the Philippines to be sex slaves. The Nanjing Massacre, during which Japanese soldiers slaughtered 300,000 people in one city within 6 weeks. They even organized beheading competition for soldiers to compete who can cut 100 heads in the shortest time possible. They also did medical experimentations on civilians, like putting a person in the freezer and then break the person's arms off and then put boiling water on the freezing arm. Force the women to have sex with animals to prove there's reproductive isolation between humans and other species. They also organized dozens of times of biological warfare across China, releasing germs like cholera, plague, anthrax, and typhoid to cause pandemics so they could kill massive numbers of civilians.
You may be thinking to yourself, how many Chinese people do actually visit Japan? Well, I found this. In 2019, 9.5 million visitors from China made up the highest proportion of inbound tourists. But in 2023, there are only 2,500 million Chinese visitors. Maybe because that was towards the end of COVID in China. Yeah. A significant number, smaller number than those other parts of East China, such as South Korea and Taiwan. So people do go and visit. They can know the past, and they are more than welcome in the land of the rising sun, Japan, and the Japanese people will welcome them. That's it. It's moved forward. The thing which happened is their great-grandparents. It's not them, their great-grandparents.
Residents place bouquets of flowers outside Shenzhen Japanese school.
But yes, I will say the word hatred still goes on. What happened in Shenzhen, very close to Hong Kong, not so long ago, people are... the regular people, you could say, not the CCP, the people of China in general have. It's just the rhetoric from the lovers of the CCP who would do a horrible, horrific thing like this because of what happened 70, 80 years ago goes on.
School, where an assailant stabbed a 10-year-old student. Japan's government says the boy has died. Chinese authorities say he was stabbed on the way to school at about 8 a.m. The suspected 44-year-old assailant was arrested on the spot.
And even some Chinese vloggers to get hits would go to Japan, which they're perfectly entitled to do so. I don't think they need a visa anymore to go. Decide to do things like this. So, my message is make love, not war. We've all done horrible things in the past. The United Kingdom, Europe, came to America. Guess what? This happened years ago. Guess what? We are still all friends. Germany did the bad thing in World War II. Japan did the bad thing in World War II. America did the bad thing in Vietnam, in the Vietnamese or American War. War is bad, period. It means death. There's no other way. So, love thy neighbor. We have to forgive. We have to move on. And that's my message to anyone listening from the CCP. Here's a bridge. Get over it. It's done. It's past. It happened a long time ago. Great grandfathers. And just move forward and let everyone get on with each other. Again, love thy neighbor. Don't hate.